Morning, folks. Morning, Axel. I'm going to make a pear tart. So today, I've got 4 cups of water on the pan, getting ready to boil. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of regular sugar, 1/3 of a cup of honey. Scrape it all out of there, and we're going to bring it to a boil and let that dissolve all the way. The sugar and honey have dissolved in the water. I'm going to add 2 pieces of crystallized ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 cinnamon stick. I just broke that in half. Stir that up. I'm going to add, I have 7 peeled and cored pears. And I'm going to be very gentle with them, but I'm going to put them in the liquid. And we're going to poach them in this syrup. And they all fit really, really nice in there. So I'm going to lower the heat so that it's just going to be to a simmer. You take about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how ripe your pears are. Mine are fairly ripe, so I only want them to absorb some of the liquid, get soft, and then take them out, take them off heat, otherwise they'll get too mushy. So I'm just going to let them simmer in the spices and the syrup water. While the pears are poaching in the sugar liquid, we are going to make the tart crust. I have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of regular salt. I'm going to put that in the food processor and pulse it just enough to get everything mixed together. 10 tablespoons of butter cut into little chunks. So you're just going to turn the processor on and add the butter 1 piece at a time through the feed tube. 2 egg yolks. If you don't know what to do with the whites of an egg, if you just need the yolk, give it to your dog. Makes their coats really nice and shiny. Water. You're going to do it about 1 tablespoon at a time until the dough gets the consistency that you want. Through the feeder tube. Another one. 1 more. It's ready when the dough starts pulling away from the sides and makes a ball in the processor. You can see that it's already doing that. Hope you can see it. Anyway. Yep, there we go. Okay. Turn the dough out onto a surface. It shouldn't be too dry, but it shouldn't be wet either. So if it's one or the other extreme, you either add a little flour or just a little bit more water, depending. What you're making is the equivalent of a cookie crust, so it's going to look more like a cookie and less like pie dough. Okay, see how nice and smooth that is? Holds together really well. Wrap it in plastic and put it in the refrigerator and let it rest for just a little bit. Look at that. Don't you hate this? It gets all stuck. It gets all stuck. Alright. Wrap it up and it's going to go in the fridge to chill. My pears are nice and soft. I can get a fork right in them. They were pretty ripe when I put them in here, so it didn't take very long. I'm going to very gently remove them from the poaching liquid. And we're going to put them in the fridge and let them chill. We're going to move on. I've taken the dough out of the refrigerator and I've flattened it out a little bit and I've let it come to just about room temperature. It's still a little cool, and I'm going to flatten it a little bit more with a rolling pin. It's not going to act like pie dough. It's really going to act like cookie dough. But I want to make it at least into a round shape, and then I'm going to start fitting it into the tart pan. So All right, well, we're going to do this little piece at a time. just took it out of the fridge. Alright, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. You see how I pressed all of the dough into the edges. I tried to make it too transparent. I do really want to have a fairly even consistency around. It looks patched together, but it'll be alright. The next thing we're going to do, get a fork. I am going to put a lot of fork holes in the bottom of my tart pan. This is going to help it keep it from shrinking, and then all this sides goes down in, and then you don't have a side on your tart. So first I'm going to prick it with the fork. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the freezer. That is going to solidify the dough when I put it in the oven. So it's going right in the freezer. So my pastry shell is nice and frozen. I am going to put long oven. Put it right here in the oven. Bake it about 10 or 15 minutes. While our tart shell is baking in the oven, I'm going to make the pastry cream. I want it to be ready when the tart shell comes out. We're going to chill them both in the refrigerator together so they get nice and firm. We need 2 cups of milk. Half a cup of sugar. And we're going to set that so that it comes just below boiling. In the meantime, I have 5 egg yolks in a bowl. On my new whisk. And how much? Okay. Starting it. 5 egg yolks in a bowl. Egg whites used for something else. About 1/2 cup of cornstarch. Cornstarch gets, I don't know why, gets everywhere. There we go. I'm going to add that together. Whisk it up. Perfect. My milk and my sugar are just under boiling. I'm going to pour just a very small amount of the hot milk into the eggs and the cornstarch. You want to introduce this slowly, otherwise the eggs will cook with the hot liquid. Okay? You can see how I'm doing that just a little bit at a time, otherwise we'll get scrambled eggs, which we don't obviously want. Alright, there we go. And then I'm going to pour it right back into the pot. Alright. Turn it back on. I'm going to keep it pretty low, not all the way low, but pretty low. And we're just going to stir it until it gets thick. Almond extract, because I want that almond flavor. I think it'll go very well with the pears. Okay. See how nice that looks. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off of it, and I'm going to continue to stir for just a little bit longer, up to 3 minutes, but I won't be able to hold out that long. So I'll just give it some really good stirs here. There now, for some reason my little shell's cracked. That one did. This one, and this was just some of the extra dough I was experimenting to make a little shell. But in this case, first time this happened, it's cracked a little bit. I'm going to pour this filling, stir it up, pour it right in. Smooth it out. back in the fridge. My pastry cream tart has set up very nicely in the refrigerator. No sign of any cracks in the dough because we covered it all up. I have taken the pears out of the syrup that were chilling in the refrigerator, and I've sliced them and I've kept them in their little pear shape. So we're going to go with the cut side down and arrange them into right on top like that. There we go. Wherever I can to cover most of the tart with the pears. And sideways like that. There. Get slices. Okay. Meantime, I took the syrup that the pears were steeping in. I put about a cup of the syrup in a pan here, along with the cinnamon stick, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to let that boil down. This is possibly not going to thicken as much as I would like it to. I'm going to help it along by using an ultra gel. It's you actually can order it, and it's a modified food starch. It's all natural, and what it does, it instantly thickens things without any kind of flavor or without that sort of starchy taste that you might get with cornstarch. So this is as thick as I would like it. There we go. I have a little brush, a regular paintbrush you might buy at Home Depot, and as I pour it over the tart, I'm going to spread it around with the brush. Here is our pear tart. We made a glaze out of the ginger syrup, ginger honey sugar syrup, and we poured it all over the pears. Now we do have a split in the crust. We're not sure how that's going to work out, but we're pretty sure it's going to be okay. It looks good, and we're going to go for it. I have no doubts. We'll let you know.